This video could be the turning point of your entire life. If you don't walk away feeling like you just cracked the millionaire code, I will personally pull out my checkbook and pay you your hourly wage for the time that you wasted watching this video. So get comfy, pull out a notepad and pen, and let's do this. Just a short while ago, a good childhood friend of mine asked me this question. If you lost everything today, do you think that you could make it all back? I instantly reflected back on the times of being flat broke, overwhelmed, and wondering if my life would ever amount to anything. After that brief thought, my answer was a definite yes. But then I wondered, how much faster could I do it now? And that very thought led me to the best idea I've ever had to create a video on YouTube, and probably the most valuable one that you'll ever watch. To bring this video to you, I've reflected on the past 6 years of my life from dead broke to multi-millionaire. Analyzed every move, every failure, and every success. And I concluded that you can go from flat broke to multi-millionaire using my path, but in less than 365 days instead of 6 years. With no prior experience, no special talents, no handouts, and just the exact roadmap that I'm going to be sharing with you right now in this video. Step number 1. Now, because I figured this would take 1 year, we'll call this point of your journey January 1st, but don't wait for the new year to come around. Start today. In this 30-day sprint, your goal is going to be to reprogram your mind and to stack your first high-income skill. I want you right now to start with introspection or self-discovery. Spend just an hour or two a day asking yourself the critical questions of life that 99% of people are too afraid to do. Questions like, what makes me tick? Or when am I most energized or excited throughout my day-to-day? What is my big reason why? Why do I get out of bed every single morning and do the things that I do? What's my dream income and my dream lifestyle? And how much money would I need to be making every single month in profit to support that dream? What are my strengths and weaknesses? And if you don't know the answer to a lot of these questions, it is helpful to go to a friend, a family member, or somebody close to you and ask them. This might seem unnecessary, but I promise you this is the most necessary step of your entire journey. I mean, think about it. If you planned a road trip with a friend and you just kind of vaguely had your end destination in mind to go swimming at a lake, and you hopped in the car and you started driving, do you think you would make it? Probably not. You'd probably keep taking the wrong turn and ending up in places that you don't really want to be. And let's say after this entire day of driving, you finally do make it to that dream destination. You can have fun in the lake with your friend. Well, by that point, because it took you so goddamn long, the sun probably set and now it's dark and cold and you don't even want to be there anymore. By doing the inner work and finding the answers to all of these questions, what you're doing is you're reprogramming your subconscious so that you can start to drive to your destination on autopilot. Also, do this in a diary or journal and a pen so that you can come back and reflect on this later and see where your mind was at 6 months ago or a year ago. Now, once you've identified who you are, what you stand for, and you have some very specific goals in mind for yourself, you now need to build an unbreakable mindset. You see, every young millionaire or even every successful person in any field of life that I've ever met shares one trait: delusional confidence. And to build this is where manifestation, meditation, affirmations, all this kind of woo-woo stuff you guys hear about actually comes into play. But let me tell you right now, this shit isn't woo-woo. This is real. In fact, it's more rooted in science than anything else I'm going to talk about today. And it works because of this one simple equation. If we take our wildest dreams, our dream outcome, the ultimate version of ourselves, the goals we want to hit, and we call this destiny, in order to get to our destiny, we need to first become the character that's worthy of living in that destiny, that's capable of living in that destiny. And how do you build your character? Your character is generally defined by your habits. So the things that you're doing every single day, in many cases, without even consciously thinking about it. Now, how do you build the habits or the traits of a millionaire? Well, by taking actions, by showing up for yourself every single day and doing the work that needs to be done. But how are you going to take those actions? Going one step back, it all comes from thoughts. You first have to think before you do. So the equation all mapped out means that your thoughts lead to your actions lead to your habits build your character, and your character determines your destiny. To make $1 million, you need to become the person who's worth $1 million first. And all of that begins with having the right thoughts every single day. Now look, I understand this self-discovery and mindset building stage may seem boring and unnecessary, but it lays the entire foundation for everything that I'm about to show you. I can promise you from the bottom of my heart that if you don't do the inner work and curate a mind that's overflowing with positive thoughts on the daily, then you'll never be able to achieve all of the massive dreams and goals that I know you have. So now that we've done the self-discovery, we've built our mindset, It's time to choose our high income skill. And remember, we're doing all of this within our first 30 days. The first thing to remember here is to pick one skill and stick to it. Do not get shiny object syndrome and jump from business model to business model, because that is the #1 killer of early stage beginner entrepreneurs trying to make money online. Here's my list of the top skills to choose from. You have sales and appointment setting, marketing and media buying, copywriting and funnel development, or e-commerce and operation. And if you want my personal recommendation here, all of these skills are great, but I would recommend going with marketing and advertising, simply because of the fact that every single business needs to acquire customers. And if they don't, then no matter how great their product is, they're not a real business. Now keep in mind, at this stage, you don't need any money yet. The internet has everything that you need for free. But the problem is now dealing with an overwhelming amount of information and figure out how to compile and extract the most crucial parts without paying somebody else a ridiculous amount of money to lay it out for you. And a couple of years ago, it might have been viable to buy a course at this stage, but nowadays you can get AI to lay all of this out for you. For example, fire up ChatGPT and ask it to write you a list of the top 10 most fundamental base building blocks in the world of marketing and advertising. Start here. Then ask it to categorize the top YouTube videos, podcasts, and educational materials correlated with that skill, and start building designated learning blocks for yourself every single day in the month. And I get it. This might be a little bit boring. You're not making money yet, but you're going to need a foundation and at least a base understanding of this new world and your new skill set before expecting to collect money. Start to analyze as much of this material as you can, and then just replicate what others have already done. Copying an industry professional is just about the best thing you can do to supercharge your skill set. This is somebody who has already built the skill set over many years, and even if you're not making money on it, let's say you're just copying somebody else's landing page or website build out, you're having a ton of growth and learning how to do what somebody else did in a fraction of the time, because that example was there for you. And don't forget to document everything. Pull out your phone and film little updates throughout the day-to-day of going through this process. This documentation will be invaluable for you in your career later on. Just trust me on this for now. Step number 2, success, your first taste. Now this is month 2. We'll call it February 1st. It's time to execute. It's time to get those first few $1,000s under your belt. This is where the real fun begins. Now, the name of the game at this stage is going to be relentlessly tracking down your first client. And don't forget to be proud of yourself along the way too, because by the end of these 30 days, you're going to have collected cash from a real life business owner. Let's say you've decided to leverage your newfound marketing and advertising skill set to bring in more clients for gyms, yoga studios, or health and wellness centers. And you plan on doing this by setting up Facebook lead generation advertising campaigns. What you now need is an outreach method to get a hold of your dream client and pitch them on your new services. If you have a good social media presence, or you're willing to put a little bit of work into that, then cold DMs might be a viable route. You also have reaching out to business owners on LinkedIn. You also have job postings that you can apply for on websites like Craigslist. And you can also set up a freelancer account on websites like Upwork and Fiverr to try to attract inbound clients. If you wanted to go the personal brand route and build organic clients as well, you can always start posting and sharing your skill set on Instagram, YouTube, whatever social media you can think of. Now, once you're able to build a solid proposal, pitch your first client, and receive that first hit of cash, the name of the game then switches to going all in with that one client and over delivering. Not only will this build a ton of trust with your name and your brand and likely grant you access to tons of new connections, but it also gives you a big case study and testimonial that you can leverage in the future to gain more clients. Now, at this stage in your journey, don't only just document your process with your phone, but also use tools like Loom and record yourself working on all the different operations for your client. Include things like outreach, pitching your services, fulfilling on your services, and just anything else that you need to be doing on the day-to-day to service this client. You can also quickly use ChatGPT to turn these into Google documents that you can look back on later. Now, it's also not a bad idea to extend this process a little bit longer than the 1 month I'm giving you if you're starting to feel overwhelmed. But the bottom line is getting just one client that you can service with your newfound skill sets and over-delivering so hard that the investment is worth their while and they wouldn't know what to do without you. If you're a true hustler and you want to apply to work with me in one of my companies, the careers page on my website is always open for you at this stage of your career. Now, all of this, my friends, is just the warm-up for what happens in the next stage. Stage 3, building your first real business. Months 3 and 4, or March and April, is all about turning your skill into a small business. Instead of simply trading your time for money, you'll now be leveraging the funds that you have coming in, your growing network, and other people's labor in order to build systems and automate the heavy lifting for you. You already have what it takes to get one client, right? So technically you can just rinse and repeat this process to get as many clients as you want. And this is why it's so important that you make those Loom videos and those Google Docs, because these are now going to be your SOPs, or standard operating procedures, which basically means that when you start to hire people to leverage other people's labor, you now have a very easy document to hand over to them to show them how to do their job. Don't forget to track your key metrics and maybe start reading some books on leadership if you want to learn how to become a more effective manager of your newfound team members. Now, you see, back when I was 18 years old, I started my first business, a social media marketing agency. And after getting my first client, I wanted to expand to others, but it felt impossible because I was also a full-time student. So overwhelmed, I started searching for students on my university campus that I could hire and bring into my business. But if I were to go back, it'd be so much easier, faster, and cheaper to just go onto online freelancing websites like onlinejobs.ph, Fiverr, or Upwork to find great talent from all over the world at much less cost. The key with delegation and automation is to start hiring people that can replace yourself in the tasks that aren't really moving the business forward or generating any more revenue. From here on out, most of your time should be focused on managing your team, building systems, and possibly a few key activities to ensure that your service delivery is still on point. And of course, acquiring more clients and propelling your business forward. And don't forget to continue documenting all your trials and tribulations during these months. Just pick up that damn phone and even just share your thoughts and feelings on the daily as you're going through this journey. And just like that, we're moving on to stage 4, scaling to global heights. Now, this stage is a big one. I'm going to be giving you guys 5 months to be in this stage and start to pivot to a new business that's infinitely scalable. Now, by all means, if you like what you got going on after stage 3, then stop, smell the roses, and be at this stage for a little while in your career. But I know for me, after about 6 to 8 months of running my agency, I was stuck on this never-ending hamster wheel of always trying to acquire new clients, not to mention constantly putting out fires for my long list of current clients. It felt like I was drowning in work orders from multiple bosses at once, and I really felt like I didn't have the true time freedom that I was looking for. And that's when one of my clients introduced me to a new way of thinking about business called dropshipping. Now, after doing dropshipping for the past 6 years, I can offer you 2 great options depending on what skill sets you have and what'll fit you better. The first one is physical product dropshipping by leveraging AI. And for those of you guys who might not know, dropshipping is finding a supplier for undervalued products, building a Shopify store or website around the product, creating ads or marketing funnels, and finding ways to push traffic to that website. And then once you make a sale, you hit up the supplier, they'll ship the product to your end consumer, and you'll make all that profit in between from what you priced the product on your website to what the supplier sold it for. But see, nowadays we can leverage AI to do pretty much everything. All financial barriers to entry have been removed, and it's never been easier to start in less than a day. Now with dropshipping, first things first, you need a good product. If you have a shitty product, it doesn't matter how great your marketing is, you're not going to sell anything. Now the foundation of dropshipping is picking a product to sell, ideally one that practically sells itself. You need something that solves a painful problem for people and that also has a wow factor or will catch people on impulse in just a few seconds. Number one mistake that every beginner makes is working with the wrong supplier to fulfill your orders. You see, I lost $10,000 by getting scammed from a Chinese supplier that I was working with early in my career. On top of that, I had products showing up at people's houses that were broken, damaged, defective, faulty, and I ended up paying the price with tons of chargebacks and refunds. But nowadays, there's a platform that fixes all the issues with traditional dropshipping. The number one all-in-one dropshipping solution is called AutoDS, and I've been partnered with them for the past couple years. You see, what they do is they have a built-in winning product software that'll show you the best, most viral, data-backed winning products in real time. And within one click, you can import that from the AutoDS dashboard straight onto your Shopify store. Additionally, all your orders show up in one place, and within just one click, they'll fulfill it from their warehouses in China and also across the US, and triple check every single order that goes out for quality purposes. On top of that, they have some of the cheapest shipping rates, but the fastest shipping times and the most competitive rates for the cost of the actual product itself. The platform is super intuitive and easy to use. It's the cheapest, best, fastest, and easiest way to start dropshipping, so I'll have the special partner link down below in the description. And once you have your supplier locked in, the next thing that you need is a website. But this is also where beginners go so wrong. They spend hours and hours, days on end, trying to make the perfect website because they're perfectionists. But they fail to realize that You are not a big brand yet. It doesn't serve you or benefit you to have all these crazy urgency and scarcity tactics built into your website. You need the most clean and frictionless user experience possible because you're trying to catch people on impulse and move them from point A to point B as quickly as possible. You don't have the luxury that big brands do yet with returning customers, tons of brand assets, email lists, and marketing materials. Your whole goal here is to just get the sale. And this is why I've brought a tool to my audience for 100% free that'll build you a Shopify store from scratch. Now, these stores have came a long way just in the past couple of months. Before, you need to edit them a ton, but now we've taken inspiration from the #1 dropshipping theme that converts the highest, and we've included that into our stores. We also have super high quality images and benefit driven copy. You can see the stores on screen now. It's pretty crazy what can be built for you for 100% free using AI from scratch in literally 3 minutes. So definitely, while it's still free, make sure you guys sign up below and set up your first store. And of course, if you wanted more support, you also have the opportunity to apply to work with our team during this stage, which will be the first link in the description. Now, the second option for you guys in building something that's infinitely scalable here is digital dropshipping. The same exact concepts and ideas of dropshipping, but instead you're selling a digital product that costs you $0 and you'll instantly fulfill it, which means the customer will gain access to what they paid for like that. There are tons of digital products out there that you can sell on websites like the plrstore.com where you could pay for the license to use them, or you can create your own from scratch. And digital products come in so many forms like ebooks, webinars, courses, mentorships, online coaching, Canva templates, website templates, custom built websites, and so on and so forth. Now, I'll be honest, at this stage of building something that's infinitely scalable, building an e-commerce brand by leveraging dropshipping is a little bit more complex than just going out there and getting your first client and making a few $1,000s a month. There's so many moving parts, and you definitely have to be tapped in with each aspect of the business in order to succeed. You can't get frustrated here and hang in the towel early. You need to keep pushing and problem solving until you can find your way through. Because remember, at this stage, you should already have some cash flow coming in. You're able to take a little bit of risks. You start to stack up your high income skills that are easily transferable over to the world of e-commerce. And it's time to make or find a single product that will change your life because you'll be able to sell it thousands and thousands of times over again. Now, I gave you 5 months for this stage. With all of the resources that I have available to you guys, especially the ones that are 100% free and will be done for you in a couple of minutes, this should be more than enough time to not only get your first infinitely scalable business going, but should also allow you time to lock in on it and go all out. Of course, while still learning and facing any challenges that come up along the way, swiftly and learning from those too. By the end of these 5 months, you've already unlocked the potential to make $1 million, but the next stage is what's going to be optimizing you for speed and longevity in your career. Step 5, which includes months 9 to 12, is what I like to call the info product explosion. You see, your fourth quarter of the year will be all about building a second income stream, a large, powerful, and much more passive income stream that is built entirely off the backbone of everything that you've done up until this point. Now, you might be scratching your head thinking, well, what do you mean? I should already be making endless amounts of money and just focusing on my business, right? Wouldn't a second income stream kind of be like chasing that shiny object? Wrong. Because this second income stream is a completely complementary income stream and one that will reap you benefits and rewards for years, if not decades to come. Now, I hope you understand why I've been so adamant on documenting everything throughout your entire process. If you've already been building your personal brand for the past 8-9 months, then even better. But if not, you now have everything already that you need to start, including all the content, social proof, all the struggles and trials and tribulations you face throughout your come up, and the authority necessary to garner an audience that will listen to you. And trust me, you definitely don't need to be some guru that has millions of subscribers. By just having a small tapped in community and audience of killers, you can make a ridiculous amount of money by posting social media content. Having a personal brand can make you money from things like ad revenue on YouTube, affiliate marketing, starting your own business and providing a life-changing offer to your audience, sponsorships, and the list goes on. Not only that, but you'll make so many connections from putting yourself out there and showcasing what you've been up to. And you'll also build a pretty cool hiring funnel that means you'll always have talent in your audience that are ready to work with you and will get behind your vision. It's like this snowball that just starts rolling every single day, getting bigger and bigger with every piece of content that you upload. My biggest tips to build a personal brand is to just start throwing things at the wall. Just start uploading content and then double down on what's working. Become omnipresent and post on as many platforms as possible, but definitely have one primary one like my YouTube channel where you focus a little bit more time and effort. And by this point, you'll have already built a business, so you know how to systemize your personal brand just like you would any business to make sure that it grows on autopilot with just a few hours of your time per month to sit down and create some content. Now, the top 2 ways to monetize your personal brand, even with very little followers, are going to be info products and affiliate marketing. I would recommend going the affiliate marketing route if you don't yet want to take on a new business, build out a whole info product and start selling it to your audience, because that way you can easily just promote somebody else's product or service that's a great solution and a great fit to your audience's needs and wants. And then if you are going the info or digital product route, the easiest way to go would be to sell some one-on-one coaching for some extra money that can help support your e-commerce business or whatever other ventures you have at this point in time. And I've personally made over $5 million combined from both affiliate marketing and info products over the past couple years on my personal brand. Oh yeah, and that $5 million is profit too, which is what's allowed me to grow my businesses like crazy over the last few years. Congratulations, you made it to the end of your first year. Even with this extremely fast-tracked route and all of the resources that I've provided you, you'll still have likely faced tons of challenges and hurdles that you can learn from and take all of those lessons over to year 2 of your journey. It's time for you to dial up those knobs, have some explosive growth, and take year 2 of your online business journey to places you couldn't even imagine. If you executed this process that I've just laid out for you flawlessly, in 365 days, it is entirely possible that you could have made over $1 million in profit from a total of 3 different businesses. And quite honestly, from here, the sky's the limit. You have so much money to leverage and work with moving forward. Now, of course, I do understand that everyone learns and grows at completely different paces. So you just have to figure out what's best for you, and don't be too hard on yourself by trying to complete all of this in just 1 year. I certainly didn't. It took me almost 7 years to go through the process that I just laid out for you. But after refining all the mistakes I've made along the way and giving you guys this fast-tracked version of my journey, I have no doubt that you'll become a millionaire much faster than I did. And by that point, you'll have unlocked limitless opportunities to leverage your money, skill set, investments, and new income streams. But I will warn you, once you reach this stage, you're a millionaire, there isn't really a playbook anymore. You're gonna have to figure a lot of it out for yourself. But lucky for you, if you're not a millionaire yet, the path to becoming a millionaire, taking the online business approach, has never been easier, has never been simpler, but I will warn you, it is an extreme grind. Oh, and finally, I just gave you all of the keys, like hand on heart, the most valuable information and process that I would genuinely take if I was starting over 7 years ago. So just promise me when you go on to reach that coveted millionaire status that you don't become a dick and you stay true to yourself and be nice to everybody. Be yourself, be humble, be a good person, and never let go of the things that are more important in your life than financial success. Love all you guys. Best of luck along your journey. I'll also be dropping tons more value on the YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and also like the content. It helps me out a ton. I'll leave up an 8-hour movie that I created over the past year teaching you everything that I've learned in online business over the past 7 years of my career. So this will definitely be a good watch as you venture into stage 1 or the first month of your journey. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in a few days. Peace.